Back from The Walking Dead. This is episode 3 of season 10. Very excited to carry on, see what's going to happen next. I think we're really going to start getting into the nitty gritty of this season now. I've loved this season so far. I think the first 2 episodes are really, really good. I loved the last episode as well. We've got a lot of backstory, obviously, on Alpha and Beta and how they met and everything. And even the whole Whisper thing got tied into the events of the first episode with the satellite crashing and stuff like that. So now I think we're fully caught up with both sides of this war that I think is going to break out. And I think now we're just going to get right into that conflict, and I'm very, very excited to see where they're going to take that and what's going to happen. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. Time goes by so slowly. You know someone's a badass when they have fingerless gloves. Alright, calm down. Yeah, they're trying to exhaust them, aren't they? I'd have let them eat me by now, just like, fuck it. Are your shitting pants on?
Wait for what? Her.
I mean, she crossed their border, surely. She's on their side. Kill her!
The highwaymen want justice!
Oh, okay.
I want to hear from you.
What happened to your hats? They were cool.
And they don't put their heads on spikes!
Oh, poor Siddiq. Oh yeah, he's fine and dandy. Look at him.
What's your plan for taking them out? Oh, that wasn't rhetorical. I don't have one.
Then shut the fuck up. That is cool. If you're gonna have your arm, cut off,
Really going in there.
it's a hell of a way to replace it. Oh boy. Oh boy.
You can fight. You are low on fighters. Peanut butter,
Butter, meat jelly.
Take them. End of discussion.
Best line from the trailer.
That's awesome. Good on you. Putting your old stump to use. Pretty sure that God put this here for a reason to help me help
Put
you.
it down.
But we both know that this broomstick ain't cutting
Oh
it.
dear. This boy having some crazy flashbacks. He was at the lineup, wasn't he, when Negan killed Glenn and Abraham?
Okay, I am on it, boss.
I hate that I love Negan so much. Isn't this uplifting? I suppose it was for the heads on the pikes, but still. Oh man.
You alright?
Oh yeah. For a moment though I forgot that they wore masks. I was like, that walker's really stressed.
That's 3 times. We are always watching.
Best of 5?
We don't have to stand here and listen to this. Carol! To this. What?
Oh.
To this bullshit.
Uh.
Come on, boy. Screamed your name
Oh.
before we took his head.
Oh, you evil bitch. Shoot her. Oh no. Well.
And you know what she lost.
Yeah, you were crying about your kid in the last one. She's not even dead. That felt very much like season 7, I think it was, when Rosita tried to shoot Negan.
The bitch has to die.
Yes! Maybe they should just let her, stay out on the boat. Nope. Oh, shit.
Tell me why the love of my life had to die.
Are you saying that Eric's death was my fault?
Don't say that. Have you seen his hand?
If I failed Eric, then you failed your wife.
Oh.
Careful.
Oh. Oh fuck. What was that? We doing a Gabriel again? No. I'm very worried about Carol. We can never just find a holiday home or something in the woods, can they? Maybe they should start, like, building, like, nice cabins and stuff for situations like this, you know? Whoa, fuck.
Hey. Come on.
Ah. Damn, I'd forgotten about Sam, that little fucking shit. I'm so glad I got eaten. I suppose it's not good when you, like, can count the number of kids you've, like, had in your care or looked out for and have died, and you're in danger of needing a second hand.
So my dad didn't sleep much either. Sometimes he'd stay up 24 hours just to make one of his runs. You stay up that long, you start seeing things.
Daryl.
I'm seeing a lot of problems. Well. Oh shit.
Negan? Negan? You alright? We'll leave first thing in the morning. I mean, if that's okay with you. Mom?
Fuck.
Mom?
Oh, you.
Story of the girl. Your dad was a truck driver.
My dad wasn't a truck driver.
Oh, fuck. She's seeing a lot of shit. Not good.
1 hour.
I would not have let her have that hour. Oh shit! Oh my goodness. I mean, if she's imagining this, then I'm almost impressed. Oh, I don't know what to believe. Like, are they really there or not?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I feel so bad for her.
Say the word.
Oh god, Siddiq, come on. Oh my god, everyone has problems. Ah. Thank god. I'm glad we didn't have that kind of standard, oh yeah, I'm definitely fine thing. Well, that was nice of you. You were a bit of a creep previously, but that was nice.
I went out with you today to protect you because
Protect me. I taught you how to fight. You and I are never going to happen. You are not Coco's father. We are not together. I need you to hear that.
Oh. Oh, Eugene.
I'm sorry that was harsh.
If it's not going to happen, he needs to hear it. You know, he doesn't want to waste his life.
there's nothing there. There never was.
You think our friendship is just nothing? Is that your unfiltered truth?
Oh. See, you do mean something to her, just not in that way.
Our whole friendship is premised on my mistaken belief that perhaps someday I could change your mind, that you would see I was worthy enough of being rezoned into Lovetown.
God.
What kind of friend is that? I'm sorry.
I almost can't argue with it. That was always his intention, you know, it's not best foundation of a friendship, but, you know, it's still a special bond I think they have. Episode 3 and everything's just fucked.
Lost the squad in Fallujah. Blamed himself.
Is he talking about himself?
1,000 miles stared.
Aww. Yeah, I hope you're feeling better, Carol. I don't think you are, but...
Oh, we need jam.
It's probably someone at the store. Hold
You have a store?
Sure they're open right now?
Oh. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sure this is fine.
But I did see them.
Doesn't mean they were real, though.
Only you did.
Oh, RJ's had a good time this episode. All he's done is fucking sleep. Goals. Okay. Oh. 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 Oh no. Oh no. Okay, that was a fantastic episode. I absolutely loved it. That's probably my favourite of the season so far, honestly. Really, really loved it. I loved how they kind of explored PTSD, I guess. Not just with like Carol mainly, but also with Siddiq and Dante in that little scene. And I really like it when they kind of... I don't think they often enough almost address how much this world and what happens to this group of people must really like have this emotional toll on them. We've gotten it before, obviously, particularly with Rick when he kind of like had these hallucinations and stuff. We've seen a lot of that, but it's nice to kind of see like other characters experience it. Not nice, but you know, it's what would happen. It's an interesting thing to kind of explore the psychological and emotional damage that all these events and living in this world and losing the people you love like that in that awful way, what that must do to people. And I love that they're exploring that. And they're exploring it with more than one person at a time, because I think in that world that would happen. You know, a lot of these characters are suffering, and even though it's really hard to watch at times and it's really sad, it's also very, very interesting. And hopefully to see some of these characters kind of overcome that, I think makes for an interesting story. But also, just as interesting and sadly realistic, I think, is when some characters don't overcome that. And maybe it will consume them, because unfortunately that's the way of the world sometimes. And particularly the way of this world, I would say. And that's one of the reasons Jasper's story in The 100, particularly if you watch that show, that, you know, that's why that resonated with me so much. And we're seeing it again with characters like Carol and Siddiq, and you know what their ultimate fate is, we don't really know yet. But I think it's a really interesting thing for them to explore. You know, PTSD and depression, I suppose, and grief, all these different things that this world of the apocalypse would cause people to go through. I really liked that they're doing that. And I thought it was interesting, the parallels, I think, with Carol and Siddiq's stories particularly, because, you know, Daryl in particular, I think, and Michonne were kind of saw that Carol was kind of hallucinating things and stuff like that, because Daryl must have realised that Carol had like hallucinated this conversation about his dad that never happened, and he still let her carry on her shift. Like, come on, no, let her sleep. Sneak a pill in her food or something, make her sleep. And yeah, so they didn't really directly help her with that. Hopefully that would be something they do. But with Siddiq, he's going through it as well. But we had Dante there to kind of support him and talk through things with him. And allow him to kind of talk it out and have a laugh, be in a much better place mentally, I think. And Carol didn't quite get that in this episode. That's kind of interesting to see if what happens to Carol and what happens to Siddiq in terms of what they're dealing with. If that's going to, you know, what their ultimate thing's going to happen. You know, is Carol just going to fall into this darkness? Is she going to overcome it? Is Siddiq going to overcome it? Or, you know, is this like a good first step with Dante, but is it all just going to go wrong again? We'll have to wait and see. But I thought that was kind of interesting, that we kind of saw one of them have someone to talk to and get some help, and that wasn't really the case for Carol, and she really is suffering with it. And, I mean, you can't blame her at all, you know. She lost her daughter years and years ago. She's lost friends since then all along the way, and she lost her son to Whisperers as well. Everything with like Lizzie and Mika, you know, that could not have been easy either. I mean, Sam, I guess, but he was a little shit. I didn't like Sam, he annoyed me. But yeah, you know, she's been through so much and lost so much. You can't blame her for being in, you know, the state she's in now. But I just hope that she can get some help and get over that. And because obviously he's making it very reckless and stuff, like that whole scene with Alpha, that was so tense. Very tense episode, and you know, it was kind of, I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. I was just so encaptured in what was going on. It was so well done, I think. Particularly the second half, when it was getting quite like, you know, horror movie-esque, I suppose, with like jump scares and all sorts. So yeah, it was just a very well put together kind of thing, I think, in terms of the story that Carol's going through and all these hallucinations and stuff. Seeing Henry again, seeing what she's imagining, what she's not, and wondering ourselves, you know, we're going almost through it with her. You know, is that real? Is that not? And that ending as well, it seems when she killed all those people, when she was like tied up and stuff, one of them seems to have been a whisperer, and she killed them. They've died and come back as a walker, but obviously they have like the skin and stuff. So I imagine if people find out that Carol's killed a whisperer, that's not going to go down well with Alpha. So maybe that's going to be a big problem. We'll have to wait and see. But obviously I think this fight between our people and the Whisperers is just only going to escalate further from here. And, you know, because Carol's going through all this and almost endangering the group by, you know, trying to shoot Alpha and all those actions and stuff like that. But Alpha also caused them by killing Carol's son. So it's just like, you can't really blame her for all of this, you know. I certainly couldn't, because we've spent 10 seasons seeing Carol go through hell again and again and again. Just like many characters in the show, but obviously this episode was focusing on Carol, so I'm going to talk about her the most. So yeah, everything with Carol and Siddiq and everything I thought was very interesting. Learning a bit more about Dante as well. We saw a different side to him that I actually quite enjoyed in this episode. He seemed like, you know, he's just a changed person as well, so I like that he kind of opened up to Siddiq about that. And he did a very nice thing for him, like covering for him when they're like operating and treating Carol. So I wasn't really sure if I liked him or not in episode 1, I think it was, he was in, when he seemed a bit creepy. But I actually quite liked him in this episode, so hopefully we'll see a bit more of that side to him. So that was really cool. And seeing that the whole community have this big debate, like the highwaymen have kind of like joined them, I suppose, now, and they want revenge, and they can't come up with any ideas though. And I like to see Michonne take that big leadership role that she's just so naturally good at. I really love her just slapping people down, talking people down, like she did with Aaron in episode 1. You know, kind of saying that he was getting a bit reckless and he could have easily died on that bridge in episode 1 and stuff like that. She kind of did the same again with that woman who's kind of speaking out. I like that, you know, they're trying to desperately all stick together, but we have all these kind of things threatening the group from the inside, not just from the threat of the Whisperers and Walkers and stuff, you know, from the inside, and having people be torn apart emotionally in their heads, like Carol and Siddiq, and people being torn apart in the similar way to like Rosita and Eugene with their little fight. So everything was that, and seeing Michonne step up with the leadership role and everything, is she does so well. I really enjoyed seeing, and I hope we get a lot more of that, and seeing if this community can survive the threat of the Whisperers and whether or not they're going to just fall apart. We'll have to wait and see. And yeah, Alpha in that scene when they were stood at the borders and stuff, so tense. I love that, and she's just she's a really good villain. I really do enjoy her, even though we saw that side to her in the last episode where she like broke down over Lydia. We saw there's still a very humane side to her at times. The fact that I've seen that side of her now, and I still kind of like, oh shit, whenever she's on screen, and she's still like evil, and a really good villain, I think is testament to the character and the way she's written, the way she's performed, by Samantha as well. So I'm really loving Alpha and the Whisperers as a villain still, like I did in the back half of season 9. I can't wait to see where they go with this whole kind of conflict. And they're definitely going to be a conflict now for sure. And they may have patched things over after the whole Carol incident, but with that Carol killing that Walker, maybe that's not going to go down so well. We'll have to wait and see. But it was a very tense scene in a very tense episode, and it was done so well. I really loved it. Like the lighting and everything of all these different scenes, brilliantly done. Then everything with Rosita and Eugene, I feel bad for the guy, because I do like the idea of Rosita and Eugene going together, but if Rosita doesn't feel that way, she doesn't feel that way. And yeah, if Eugene kind of worked on his friendship with Rosita all these years, because think how long they've known each other at this point, all these years, and his sole intention was to befriend her, so ultimately one day he may be able to get with her romantically. That's not the best way of starting a friendship. But obviously I think it does deep down mean more to him than that, and I think he just needs to get over his crush or his feelings for her. I think it's a lot more than a crush at this point, honestly, isn't it, after all this time, but maybe he needs to move past that, and then maybe he'll realise just how much the friendship Rosita means to him, and hopefully that'll be enough for him, and he finds someone that actually will love him for him, and love him in return. Because if Rosita doesn't, then not much you can do about that. And obviously everyone was very tired and exhausted and stuff, so she did snap a bit, but Eugene seemed to understand that came from a place of truth, and she'd been trying to desperately get that into his head, I think, for quite a while, that she was saying, and it just wasn't going in, because I don't think Eugene kind of accepts that stuff like that very easily. So I guess it's nice that the message has hit home, and he can maybe move on and actually enjoy and find some other happiness elsewhere in his life. But hopefully they'll be able to properly smooth things over and patch things up, because I love that Rosita was kind of trying to get the point across that even though she doesn't see him romantically, his friendship still means a lot to her, and I think Eugene still needs to realise that, hopefully. But hopefully those two can patch things up, even if nothing ever romantically does happen with them. They have a very special bond that I don't think either of them really want to admit just how fond they are of each other, even if it doesn't go into that romantic territory. So I really enjoyed kind of scenes with those two and see where they go with that. But obviously that's been a long time coming, because even last season Eugene was always trying to spill his feelings out for Rosita, so you don't want to just drag it on for too long, do you? Eugene still has time to enjoy his life and maybe find someone else. So while I'm sad that maybe that's not going to happen as a pairing, because that's kind of what I was rooting for out of this whole love square or whatever the hell it was, I still hope they can make amends, because obviously they were introduced together in that group with Abraham, and they've gone through so much together, and I do think they have a very, very special friendship. I mean, we even saw it in this episode when they were kind of coming out with these random Eugene phrases. They have a very sweet bond, and hopefully they'll be able to patch things up. And then finally, the Aaron and Negan stuff I loved. I love it when they just randomly pair these two characters together that you may not have expected, and it's just brilliant. And I'm going to move my leg because it's going to sleep. There we go. And yeah, it just worked so well. Even when the trailer came out for season 10, and we had the whole scene with Gabriel going peanut butter, meat jelly and stuff, and I was like, oh, where's that pairing going to go? And this episode was so good at exploring that. I love that we're kind of getting a no-nonsense Aaron this season. Maybe reckless in being no-nonsense, yes, but, it's another example, I guess, of this world breaking someone down, and Aaron was such a good, sensible person, but then he lost the love of his life, and he's lost loads of friends as well. He was very close to Enid as well, as we saw, I think more so in season 8. But, he's now lost her as well, so that couldn't have been easy for him to go through. He's raising a child on his own, he lost Jesus. So it must be a stressful life for him as well, and he has one arm, So to see this different side to him, I think is a very interesting thing, because 10 seasons on, I know Aaron hasn't been around since season 1, I think it was season 5, I think, maybe he was introduced, maybe 4, I think it was 5 though, but he has been around for about half the show's run, basically, so far. And the fact that even after all these years they can still kind of explore new sides to him, I think is a testament to the characters in the show as a whole. And I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with it. And the dynamic between him and Negan I loved. I really do love Negan. Jeffrey Dean Morgan just has so much fun in the part, you can just tell, and I love watching him whenever he's on screen. And seeing him slowly maybe make his way into the general community and actually be quite accepted as a member, I think could be a very interesting story for him. The fact that he's finally being trusted to actually go out and help, so just picking tomatoes and stuff, as much as he'd want that because he's kind of self-preservation and stuff. but the dynamic between the two of them I thought was so tense. Just like the rest of the tension throughout the episode, a lot of it came from the dynamic with those two, the argument they were having about what Negan's kind of philosophy about the world is, and then Aaron kind of turned that back and spat it back in Negan's face. Because if Eric's death was Aaron's fault, then, you know, Lucille's death was Negan's fault, and that tension there. And Aaron still can't let go, I think, of the Negan he saw in that lineup back in, you know, end of season 6, start of season 7. Even if Negan may not be that person anymore. And I think it's about him trying to prove that. And this could be the start of actually a really interesting, maybe, friendship. Because, you know, Negan came through in the end and helped Aaron out and saved him when he was temporarily blinded. Whoops. As you do. So I love the scenes with them. I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with that. And also what other pairings between certain characters and Negan they could explore. I think, because they did get quite a bit with Negan and Gabriel in previous seasons. I think season 8. Negan and Eugene we had a bit of as well. Tiny bit of Negan and Rosita, maybe they could pair them up. Negan and Siddiq, Negan and Michonne we got a bit of. Negan and Maggie we've had a bit. So, you know, there's got quite a few characters that I think Negan could be paired off with in a similar way to this. And because this worked so well, I'd be interested in seeing him do a lot more of that. And that would be a cool way of kind of slowly integrating Negan, maybe as like a, you know, necessity in this community and someone that they absolutely need and someone they can trust and rely on to help them out and fight on their side always. If Negan kind of builds his bridges with everyone in a similar way to he did with Aaron in this one, I think it could be a very interesting thing. So I loved all their scenes as well. And yeah, just a fantastic episode from start to finish. I absolutely loved it and I can't wait to see where we're going to go next, where they're going to take the story from here. But I think things are definitely going to escalate with that ending. They wouldn't have ended the episode the way they did with that Whisperer becoming a walker if it wasn't going to be a big deal. So, we'll see where that goes. But a really well done episode, really intense. Everything they were doing, like the PTSD and stuff with Carol and Siddiq, I thought was excellent. I loved the Aaron and Negan kind of pairing. The Eugene and Rosita stuff I thought was interesting as well. And I liked seeing this new side to Dante and the debate of the community as a whole and the show leading them and stuff, and Alpha and obviously the Whisperers are still a great villain for me and I can't wait to see where we go from here. But this is a fantastic episode and I can't wait to see what season 10 still has to offer, because it's off to a fantastic start with these first 3 episodes. So yeah, love this episode so much, and until my next reaction, thanks for watching.